this week's episode of The Iron Couch. Joining us is the usual crew. Andrew, myself, Thomas, Jessica.
Philly's not here this week.
No Philly.
We left in the ditch.
We left them in the ditch this time.
You know what though? At least Philly was spared that episode because
Okay, hold on.
That was
Once
rough.
again,
We'll get to that.
spoilers. Don't
Very
spoil stuff in the
spoilers.
comments. You know, you got the drill. Episode 5.
So, we did more about topic this week rather than location because there weren't very many locations.
There's only 3. Yeah.
It was really just things happened.
yeah.
So one of the first things that happened was the creation of the White Walkers.
Yes, it was finally
Yeah.
revealed.
Yeah. Because if you've read the books, you know that the children of the forest and men were fighting because the men were invading. Children of the forest can't really defend themselves all that well, so yeah, they created the White Walkers.
By
Which is
placing
crazy.
dragon glass inside of a human.
Which I've always wondered, like, how the White Walkers existed and were not already, like, the dominant species, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that kind of answered that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more of like a countermeasure, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a slave revolt almost. Like they serve their purpose and
which they talked about with the faceless men in this episode as well, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had so there's 4 areas.
Yeah,
Oh
Well,
yeah,
we'll talk
I didn't
about
have that
that
in
too.
there.
But,
We'll talk about that
but,
next.
but yeah,
So remind
so
me.
yeah, Bran like doing Morgan stuff.
I know what happened, how the Reapers started, and kind of similar. But yeah.
So that was a thing.
It was cool to get a little bit of backstory.
It
Yeah.
was kind of a big revelation. I think a lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
are more focused on what happens later in the episode, which is crazy. We'll get to that later.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like in the books they talk about the children of the forest, and it's kind of like you're like, what? After like watching the show, and it's not really part of the show at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then when I started reading the books, I was like, this is crazy, like
Yeah.
this weird mythology.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
nice to see all that.
And we haven't really gotten any
Unfold.
White Walker backstory since the taken baby from Craster's Keep got turned into a White Walker.
And I think in a way it was kind of we knew that in Game of Thrones, I feel like that we were going to see how the White Walkers came to be, but I think it almost came as a surprise that they did it this way, and now, because everybody was so fixated on the Tower of Joy scene that we think is coming up that we were, pretty sure is going to happen, that this kind of throws you for a loop in a good way.
Yeah, they're revealing a lot more than I think a lot of people thought they would
Yeah.
with Bran, which is cool. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Moving on, Sansa in her confrontation with Littlefinger.
Yes.
Or as we call him, Littlefinger,
Ice
big
cold.
personality, thanks to Thomas.
I love that scene.
It was good.
That was probably my favorite scene from the episode.
It's really just establishing Sansa too as more of a force to be reckoned with.
She's learned. She's smarter now.
The show has learned too.
Yeah.
They took a very controversial scene from last season, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. And
Yeah.
we're kind of just like, no, that was not a light scene. We did not take it lightly. It was messed up, and we're addressing that. Like,
Yeah.
these kind of things that happen do happen in the real world.
So anyone who said
Yeah.
that this makes her a weak character, like the previous scene that happened last season, shove it.
Yeah. You're just straight up wrong.
I
But at
mean,
the same time, we don't want to fall into the trap because the other token of that argument is that that's the only thing that makes her stronger.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You know what
but
I mean?
no,
So
it's
but
not
she-
we're finding out she's a lot stronger than we've known. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
She's really coming
She's
around.
learned and she's grown a lot
Mhm.
yeah,
in the last couple seasons.
Yes.
she is.
I
And
was
she-
very proud of her in that scene.
She can see through. She's seen through Littlefinger.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Something not a lot of people can do.
Just the
No,
line,
he's
the whole
a
like,
master manipulator.
if you knew, then you're my enemy, and if you didn't know, you're an idiot.
Yep.
Like that whole line that she did right there, I was
Yeah.
like,
However, I mean, and this is kind of going to go into a category we'll talk about later, but like, do you think Littlefinger is telling her the truth about her great uncle?
I think that's
I
curious.
do not, and partially the reason why I do not is because of set photos. So like that
Yeah.
kind of breaks the wall of like the illusion of the show right now.
Mhm.
But because of set photos that have been released, do you guys want me to say anything about them?
If you want, yeah. I mean, we're all about spoilers here, so if you don't want to hear it, close
Well,
your
again,
ears.
this doesn't confirm or
It doesn't
deny
confirm
anything,
or
so-
deny it, but they showed tons of Lannister troops at River Run. Jamie's at River Run, like tons of
Mhm.
Lannisters.
Well, James, no, he hasn't left King's Landing yet.
No,
Not
but
yet.
they showed like there are people who took photos when they were
Yeah.
filming season, and Jamie's at River Run.
What you'd have to say is interesting, considering certain roles that certain people are filling that were filled by other people in the books. You may know what I'm talking about. So that might come to pass this season. which
I
is
actually
cool.
just got to that part of the books where Jamie's leaving.
Yeah.
And who knows, this is all speculation, these are just photos and stuff like that. You know, you never really know, and this could happen later, it could be something completely
Right.
different. But I'm just, like, based on set photos, people have spotted Jaime at River Run, so, and Lannister troops. There was, like, tons of red tents and stuff.
We'll see what happens.
So, we will
Um,
see.
Next up is kind of a big thing, I feel like, is the Greyjoys. And the
Yeah.
Kingsmoot.
Oh, so yeah, 5.
Yeah, we had a lot of
Yeah, we missed a
locations.
lot of locations.
That's okay.
Yeah, the Kingsmoot
Oh
finally.
man, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, went a little bit differently.
Than a lot of people expected.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, we were watching it and, like, right as if on cue, Andrew goes, and then Euron sweeps in, before anything happened, and then immediately Euron was like, I am Euron Greyjoy.
Brother of Balon.
We're like,
Or you could be like Emily's, you know, little captioning for it, which was, I'm Bam Margera, and what is he going to do
Yeah.
next? Yeah.
He just kind of looks
Welcome
like
to the Bam, man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I am really liking Theon and Yara.
I think this.
Yes.
I think this really confirms that, like, for the most part, Theon's back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like he identifies again as Theon, and he can reason again.
Yes,
Mhm.
we were all very happy that he was like, yeah, Yara should be it. But we really didn't expect anything
Yeah.
differently.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it was a little tense there for a second. It was a little tense for.
I feel like it was like a fake out.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
oh, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
We're all like, he doesn't want to be king. Like,
But-
he's
Yeah.
tired. He's tired.
I think it was like we all knew as an audience, but like everyone at the Iron Islands
Yeah.
was like, and even Yara, you could tell they focused on her, and she's like, please.
Yeah, Yara did a
don't
little
screw,
eye narrow.
Don't screw this up.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
knowing their trust hints, I guess, you know.
I mean, yeah.
But
But
yeah,
we do, because we know the real Theon.
and it was awesome, the whole scene where, like, they knew the second that that people said Euron's name, they're like, he's going to be the king, we gotta get out of here. And so
Just booked.
yeah, they booked it, and
was
awesome. And, okay, but brings us to the next thing. Logistically, how the hell are they going to make, like, 1,000 ships, I mean, I know that's not, like, an actual number, but, like, and catch up to them? They literally
Euron
have
turns
nothing.
to like the 10 guys behind him, and he's like, "Build me all the ships you can."
I don't think
Yeah.
they're going to catch them. I think he's just gonna say, "Fuck those guys." Sorry.
His plan is so flawed.
And go to Daenerys. I think he's just.
Dude, Daenerys is
Screw-
gonna, like, burn the
Yeah,
fucking-
what do you
so-
think is gonna
yeah.
happen
She's gonna steal his boat. She's
No.
not gonna burn them. She's not gonna.
This
burn
is what
boats.
I thought, and this just occurred to me that you guys weren't thinking the same thing. My assumption was that Yara and Theon were just gonna go to Daenerys. Like, they just hopped in the boats, they're like, let's go to Essos.
I don't think they're at all concerned with
No,
that.
I don't think they are.
See, actually, I was on board with Emily. I thought they were gonna go to Essos too.
I don't think
Yeah,
they are.
because he brought up a really good point of like, this is the other person who we want to
I mean,
business
realistically,
with.
what else are they gonna do? Like,
Yeah,
how do they
that's
just
what I thought.
escape?
Like,
where
they're
are
gonna
they
go
going?
back to the castle and be like, oh no, now we're dead.
I think honestly they're gonna go do something else. I don't know what, but I think Euron is a really convenient way of giving Daenerys ships, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a plot device.
Yeah, like he's
I don't know if she'll
especially
go
now.
for
Like
it.
in the books, he's a little bit more of a threat. In the show, he's just a joke right now. He's
Yeah.
like, here, Daenerys, here's your ships for your army you just got. Like,
Yeah.
Thinking that he's in control and he has the upper
Right,
hand,
he
but
is
really,
really-
Really, it's gonna be Daenerys.
Nobody messes with Mama
She's gonna like
Daenerys.
turn to Dario and be like, this second you can, just kill him.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's just deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Dany consistently has a subtle upper hand on situations.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's move on to her little plot point in this.
Sounds good.
So what did you guys think of Daenerys and Jorah's little number?
Also said.
Oh my gosh, that made me. It was kind of like the whole Sansa Jon reunion as far as like just powerful emotions and things that needed to be said finally being said.
Yeah, things that we've been
You
waiting
know what I
for
mean?
for a very long time.
Exactly. It was
Roughly
like
6
a
years.
little bit of closure. It was sentimental
What did
closure
you guys
in a way.
think about the way that she responded? Obviously, I mean, it's a big thing, Jorah being like, I love you.
But
Like,
also
I've-
not dying.
Like, I love you. But he finally tells her, and that's what we have been waiting for this whole time. Do you think that she reciprocates his love?
No.
Or do you think
No.
she just, like,
In a different
wants
way,
him to be alive.
absolutely. In a different way, yes.
Yeah,
She respects him, she loves him as like a very I mean, Jorah's been with her out of all of these people who betrayed her and blah blah blah. I think she genuinely trusts Jorah. She knows that he made a mistake, but like she saw him cry when it happened. He's come back twice for her. He loves her, and she can see that in his face. And so like, I think in a way she does love him.
so like in a friend way she loves him?
Yeah.
But do you think in a romantic way
No,
she loves
no.
him at all?
I don't think she's sexually attracted to him at all.
I don't
think
either.
in a way though, there is kind of that thing there.
I think she's keeping him on the back burner.
I don't think she thinks. No, I don't.
I don't think she
say that.
realizes that she is, but she is. Which sounds
No.
stupid because obviously everything's written with intent in the show. But, I mean, I don't know.
But I don't think, because like putting him on the back burner makes it sound like last resort type thing. I don't think she'd ever romantically go for him.
I think
Ever.
she would.
I don't think she would.
I think after if he were able to cure himself and stick around for everything, I feel like maybe she would go for him.
I don't think she ever would. I think to like in her eyes, it's like almost an uncle or something. You know, somebody like that.
Yeah.
It's like
I feel like that's how she feels about him now. But I
We'll see.
think
We'll
I think
say.
the
Find out
possibility
next
is
week on
there.
Game of Thrones.
Next week.
Find
alright.
out in
Yeah.
2 years.
do you guys think that
2018.
Jorah will be able to cure it?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
I know that a lot of
No.
people had. No, Daenerys gave him a command. He is going to see it.
He would
through.
go to the
gonna go
end
die.
of the earth.
He's
He
just
will.
gonna go die. He's gonna go. He's gonna be gendry.
I'm
He's gonna go wander
on
around.
team.
I think he'll try
He'll
to
cure it.
but I think he'll die.
He's gonna cure it, and he's gonna come back with like another army for her, and like
Stone Skin Army.
just like they'll all have Valyrian steel blades. It'll be really bizarre.
I like
Put on the hat.
at the
Yeah.
rate
Where's
that
the
this-
hat?
There you go. At the rate that
laser
this,
guns, whatever. They can read our minds.
Mech dragons.
At the,
Dragons.
at the rate that this season's
Digimon.
going, he'll cure it next episode.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
So
it'd
that
be interesting if he does
did you
cure it,
guys-
'cause, like, he's gonna have to go to Valyria to do that, and there's a lot of hidden mysteries in Valyria.
Ah.
And so if he finds out something new in Valyria,
And
Then-
he's got quite a time limit on him for
Yeah.
all this
yeah.
travel.
So like, this
He
is
really does. She's like, go cure it. He's like, it's already up half my arm.
Yeah. Like, this isn't going too well.
It's
so
like,
yeah.
why couldn't it have been his toe that got touched?
I know.
Like, let it
Because he's
go.
wearing
I
shoes.
was joking.
He's wearing sandals.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of mysteries in Valyria that, I mean, if he's gonna go cure this grayscale, that's gonna be his first stop.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
he just passed through Valeria and almost got murdered, killed.
Yeah, but if he's
But now he's
now
Killed.
he hasn't
One of
worked
them.
out like keeping Tyrion.
He's gonna be like, one of us, one of us.
alright. So
But wait, one more thing. I like that they cut to Dario right after Jorah said I love you, and he was like,
What's that?
somebody's alarm.
someone's,
That's not me.
it's you.
It's me. I've never even heard that.
No,
noise
it's
on my
me. No.
Oh.
Sorry, Emily Pearson, if you're watching this, I have to decline.
Alright. Anyway, sorry
Anyway,
about
moving
that.
on.
Arya.
Arya.
Yeah.
Arya.
So she is not blind anymore.
No.
Nope.
No cataracts covering up the eyeballs.
Yep. She fought the waif again and got her butt kicked.
Butt kicked again.
We
Yeah, I
basically
mean, like-
saw a shot-for-shot remake of the first season of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Exactly how it played out.
Yeah, to a T.
Yeah.
A girl could not react strongly to watching the death of her father in a play that was crudely done.
And
Okay.
the boobs of her sister flying out
Yeah.
because of Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I feel like that was definitely a purposeful test
Most definitely.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
by Nick Kroll.
But
But okay, so I always hate the waif. You guys know this, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
she's
every
the worst.
I'm
episode.
sure we all do.
Every
Okay.
episode I sit here and I'm like, she's just like a pile of sand. Like I just hate her. I don't know why I say that, but I do.
it's like she just has a kind of a bad face with a
She
bad
has a very
haircut.
hateable face.
She does.
But she really like kicked ass in this
She
episode.
did.
I was like, you're kind of awesome. In a
I
way.
appreciate
Yeah.
like a good like foot to the chest kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Sparta kick. It's
Exactly.
This is Bravos.
Oh,
Yeah.
like that's one of the things in like Batman vs Superman. Whenever he's fighting Batman vs Superman, he has like the good like foot to the chest kick. I'm just like, yeah, brute
Yeah.
strength. And so like for me seeing that kick, I was like, it's a good kick.
So,
I have feelings.
like, is this why she magically just forgot Cersei on her list of people she's been saying now? Because she's gonna kill fake Cersei?
well, she hasn't been saying the list for a long time now.
No, she hasn't said the list for a
I
while.
think she mentioned it at one point
She-
this season, and she dropped like Sushi.
Sushi.
She dropped sushi. She dropped
Sushi.
Sushi
Lintan.
lady.
Just a lot of people who haven't really died, but I don't know.
Um,
I mean, she talked about because she was forced to, but it's not like we've heard her recite it like on her own.
And the
free
Well,
will.
she's
Yeah.
That's true.
she's totally lying through her teeth this whole time.
Oh,
We
okay.
talk about
That's
it
a
all the
question that I
time.
want to ask. Who's on team Arya's totally full of it and lying? Who's on team she's actually genuinely trying to do this?
I think she's trying, but she's still lying. Like, she's still like, I'm not Arya.
I think she's
like,
really
I'm
trying
having
to
trouble with
lie.
this.
I can't wait till she goes back for Nito and realizes she's outgrown it because it was made for a child and like it's way too short for her now. It looks like a dagger.
Her giant like Hulk arms. Or just
Yeah,
kinda
and she's like, well, why did I keep this? And like throws it in the ocean anyway.
I don't think that Arya will ever forget her true goals.
Nope.
Oh
No.
no.
No, she's way
She's a
too.
Stark, man.
She's too much of a revenge-driven character.
Yeah.
She is driven by vengeance.
Yes.
Like, so,
And the Knight.
and the Knight.
She's Batman.
She's gonna learn how to do the chest kick. She will become Batman.
It's gonna be like the.
And it's like all the
movie
time
from-
Nick Kroll is like,
is that my
are you
theory?
sure?
Yep.
Are you sure you're sure? And she's
Yeah.
like, yes, I am. I'm sure. And
We got a
don't even
little-
ask me.
Bit of backstory about the Faceless Men too, which was kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah, talk about that because I kind of missed it.
So the dude that was a slave in the mines in I think Valyria.
It's Valyria.
Yeah, he learned how to do it from the many-faced god, and he taught people, and he essentially started the Faceless Men, and all their faces are now in the Hall of Faces. I'm using the word faces a lot because you guys just talk about faces constantly.
It's okay. It's
Face it, it's fine.
That's
Face
kind of
it.
their thing.
So,
Face it.
so faces, and the faces.
I feel like you can't talk about the Greyjoys without using the word drown, and you can't talk about
Yeah,
the
That's
faceless
true.
gods without
One of
using
these
face.
times we have to when there's an episode this season that doesn't have anything really happen in it, which just isn't gonna happen. But we
Yeah,
need to talk
that's
about
right.
like Game of Thrones, like religion and philosophy at some
We
point.
do.
We'll have a separate
Because-
episode.
Yeah,
for that.
Jessica learned a lot about the drown god.
I did too. I didn't know.
Yeah,
That was
it's
pretty
really
neat.
cool. There's some cool stuff there.
You guys can educate us.
I actually have a
layfolk.
book on Game of
You
Thrones
do?
philosophy. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what's our next stop?
Next up, I gave you your.
Oh,
phone
you
back
did
with
give me
the
my
list.
phone back.
Sorry.
Here you go.
Next up would
On this
be
magic carpet over Westeros.
back to Marine.
Back to Marine. Oh,
Tyrion.
Oh yeah,
Take this
Terry's
off now.
and the Red Priestess.
yeah.
The
So
new Red Priestess.
Not a lot happened. It was
Which-
a very short scene, but
Yeah.
it was enough.
You get to see Varys like be kind of like against
Varys
magic
is
and
very.
religion and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a skeptic towards religion
Which is interesting.
and
For sure.
magic, especially because of what happened to him in his childhood. So it was interesting to
It's
see this
awesome.
new Red Priestess come up to him and be like, "Hey, remember what happened to you during your childhood that you didn't mention to me?"
yeah, she knows a lot.
She knows everything. She knew that a voice called out to him from the fire.
I don't like her.
I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I think she's
I
supposed to be
Yeah.
more sneaky than Melisandre is, because Melisandre's very forthright with everything.
What's something that's kind of funny I noticed too is that she called Melisandre fake.
No.
No, she didn't.
Really?
Yeah, she did.
She said that some people like make these bold predictions and they're not always right. Like
No, she said it in a separate thing. She said, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but she did. She said, like,
really.
yes, she
Okay.
called Melisandre fake.
I want to see them meet. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And kiss.
Oh,
Well, not
That's-
to get
that's-
into
that's the last
anything
episode
too
of them, like,
crazy,
fighting.
but like that is something that I noticed about this episode is that anything in the way of spirituality can be twisted to mean a different thing.
mm-hmm.
Like, she said, well, the Lord of Light meant for all of that to happen. Like even the false princes that were promised. And
And
everything.
Varys even brings that up. He's like,
Yeah.
all you zealots like tend to use this stuff to your advantage. And
Well, it's the
that's-
idea of just like, I think that the Lord of Light is very much based in predetermination. And
Yeah, it
everything
is.
happens for a reason. And so there's not a lot of like agency, I guess,
Yeah.
given to those people. So it makes sense. And like, that's a common thing to use in religion.
Yeah.
So, and they bring up the whole topic of fanatics and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you having issues?
Yes.
I usually just use my thumb for it.
So yeah,
Just thumb it.
it's interesting that we got a new Red Priestess. We're getting a little bit different side of the religion. I think that them using the Red Priestess to kind of spread Dany's support is a good idea. I'm curious to see how it's gonna backfire because it's Game of Thrones. And
I
it's
don't think
going to.
Dany's gonna like it though.
Oh,
I
she
think she's
won't.
gonna come back to Marine and be like, no.
Dany has
She's gonna
been.
be very mad about everything that Tyrion has done.
I don't think she's gonna be mad about everything he's done, but I think that after the death of Drogo and her child, because of a sorceress, I don't
Mhm.
think that she's going to be super on board with having one working with her.
Well, that and it's like, I don't know. I feel like Dany is like the alpha female in the room, and having
Oh,
a
most
Red
definitely.
Priestess there, who she acts like she's the alpha female. Let's be real.
Mhm.
She very much controlled the room as soon as she walked in.
I think that if she has the personality of Melisandre, she's an alpha who pretends to be a beta because she knows that it gives her the true alpha
but she already
spot.
does not have the personality of Melisandre.
No, she doesn't.
I'd have to see her more a little bit. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't
we've only
know.
seen one scene.
Yeah, because I've
We
I've
are
heard
like
her
already
for a
judging her entire life and character by one scene.
Yeah.
Because that's just what
It's
But
we
like
like
watching
that's the way that
trailers.
Melisandre
Yeah.
works though. Melisandre is the alpha, but she plays a beta really well. She plays the it's for you, but you know,
Yeah.
and like she's manipulative. And
She
so we'll see if You know, and you can be manipulative and think that you have good intentions. You know, like I think Melisandre's that way, but we'll see.
We will see.
Next topic?
Next topic.
Alright.
Last but definitely not least.
Definitely not least this week.
We're gonna go back to Bran.
Yeah, we're gonna do like everything
And the
post
tree, and the three-eyed raven.
Yeah.
And the children of the forest.
Mira and Hodor.
And Mira and Hodor.
I was saying, Bran basically, you know how
He
Game of
went rogue.
Thrones basically all started because Bran's a dumbass and decided to climb up a tower? Okay, he did it again. I mean, not to the
He
same
climbed
extent.
a tower again.
He not to the same extent, but he was a dumbass. He didn't listen to specific instructions given to him.
Don't go to weirdword.net without an adult.
Ooh.
And yeah, he decided that he was going to go back in time and look at some stuff himself, touch the little tree root and take a little trip, and that didn't
He's
work out.
impulsive.
He's
And
impulsive.
a butthead.
Yes.
He's a lot like Jessica.
And yeah, exactly. Apparently. And yeah, it didn't work out too well for him.
No.
So he went back, he saw all of the
Well, this whole time we were
I can't think
thinking
of what they're called right now, right?
Whites?
whites.
Whites?
Whites.
Oh, I
Whites.
thought they're called right. Okay, never
No.
mind.
Wasn't an R word.
But this whole
Jessica.
time we were speculating, we were like, do we think that Bran being able to see these flashbacks can alter them, can affect them, can be a
Yeah.
part of them? And that was definitely answered in this
Like
episode.
Harry Potter
Yeah.
time turner syndrome is what I
Yes.
called it.
Yeah, so we got the Night's King saw
Oh.
Bran and
It
touched
was
him.
kind of like Lord of the Rings with the
I see you.
Yeah,
What
you
are they
put on the
called?
ring, the
Yeah.
nostrils.
The wraiths, the
The
wraiths.
wraiths, yeah, the wraiths.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Not as cool.
like
Yeah, not
he
Nazgul. I'm
touched the
completely
branch and
lost
then
on
they saw
everything.
him and then the White Walker King, the Night's King was like,
Yeah, he touched him, and so when Bran woke up, he had the blue mark, but
Yeah.
the Three-Eyed Raven's like, he can come in now. You screwed
Actually,
us
it
all.
kind of makes sense in that they can see them in those visions because they are like
Magic.
part of the werewood.
Oh, yeah.
And that he was murdered on one, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or created on one, whatever.
Yeah.
murdered, created.
Little comedy, little comedy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, that was a
so-
creepy scene though when he was walking
Oh my
through
gosh,
the
it was.
army of
It
the
was very
yeah,
nerve-wracking.
corpses and-
Yeah, and then the Night King shows up behind him. I think that it shows it. I mean, that was really our first taste, like you said, of Bran being able to impact what's going on. But this wasn't Bran in the past. This was Bran in the present. It seemed like, because we had no indication this was in the past because they're just hanging out. Like
Yeah.
so, but later on we do get the indication that he can affect the past. But like this is really the first
I feel
time.
like early on we got the indication that he could affect the past
When he
with the
was yelling
scene
at
at
his
the
dad.
at the Tower
Yeah.
of Joy
Well,
when he
it was
was
a hint to what was to come.
and Ned turned and was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like
No,
he heard
I
something on the
almost-
wind almost.
I almost predict
Put it on the hat.
that.
You wanted more than I had today.
I know, I have. This is a record, but my prediction is that Bran is somehow responsible for the events that unfold at the Tower of Joy.
I don't agree with that.
I do. I think that maybe he did something that he guided his father a certain
He
way,
sounds
like
so
that there is
angry about
something subtly that happened. It might not be like, okay, obviously he's not, responsible
Okay.
for them getting there or the procreation, but I
B
think
plus
that
L
Let's
equals
just
J.
dive right into it. I mean, Bran was obviously responsible for the way that Hodor is now.
And you
Yeah.
know what? I even called that like as soon as we got to the scene where like shit started going down in the cave and we saw
actually I'm gonna
Hodor.
keep this on. I
And
have more to say.
I even said I'm like he's the cause.
Do you guys want a headache?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. So
Wait, do you need the hat?
if
Do you
they
want
if they were yelling Hodor to get Hodor's attention, Hodor heard Hodor, or I'm sorry, they were yelling hold door,
Yeah, hold the door.
and
Get it right.
Never mind.
It's a lot. Like
So-
working
Time
out-
travel, man.
Yeah.
But essentially Bran war exceptioned.
Yeah.
He was warging into the past
Actually, it doesn't
and
check out.
warged Hodor. But yeah, as soon as like stuff started going down and he was still in the past, I'm like he's gonna do it. He is his fault. And
Yeah, you called it early on.
I guess the behind the scenes like confirms that is book canon.
That's yours now.
Yeah, I think it is.
That is how Hodor ended up Hodor.
Which, after we watched the episode, we were like, do you guys think that that's how it happened? We were all like, no, that was
Like,
just DB or
David Benioff.
David Benioff and DB Weiss like taking the reins basically.
Yeah.
And then you confirmed it. You said no, it's book canon.
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin's confirmed it.
Yeah. So no kick in the head by the horse, but that's really our first indication that Bran can do things while he's already warging.
Yes.
Which is why Jessica believes stuff happens at the Tower of Joy. Like, so I don't agree with it, but I mean, it's possible at this point.
I think even if it's the most subtle thing, even if he wargs into a guard or something like that and makes it to where they get away, if he gets away with
the
John.
guards are all dead. They just killed them all.
Oh yeah, well, but there might be more people.
Yeah, something.
But I'm saying, like, even if it's a subtle thing, like he wargs into a guard and makes him go away so that way his dad can escape with John.
Mm-hmm.
And he's responsible for his dad and John getting away.
Or what if he, like, basically...
Take the tinfoil hat before you say it.
Sorry, okay, now we're
You have to be, like, within the program
okay.
here.
So, like, this is dumb, I don't know why I'm doing this, but, like, what if he actually convinces Ned to keep John alive? Like,
yeah, you never know.
Or he can even...
I could see that totally being a thing.
But...
We're getting so
Tinfoil.
speculative right now.
Yeah.
What was it the person said to Ned this episode was like, don't kill people unless you have to.
No, if you don't get in a fight, if you do, win.
Yeah, don't get in a fight, but if you do, win.
And if you
Which
don't
makes
win,
it seem...
have Colin Reed save you.
Yeah.
Which makes it seem like, I don't know, like... You know what I'm saying.
I'm gonna take
yes,
I don't even
so,
know how to explain this. I'm sorry.
100%.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate really
Shut
here
up, I hate
and
you, I
side
love
with
you.
Jessica, even
My
though I
husband.
don't agree with that Tower of Joy was really gonna be anything to do with Bran. I think he's just gonna witness it at some point. Something that could happen is if Rhaegar is there with Lyanna and Jon's born, Ned shows up, warging Rhaegar to convince him to let them take the baby. To let Ned take the baby.
I don't think it would be something that passive, but like...
That's not passive at all, because Rhaegar would want to keep his kid. If
no, I don't know.
Lyanna dies in childbirth.
I don't think that Rhaegar... I don't know. I think that's a little weirder. My thing is he's either going to find a way to help his father and Jon escape because he's going to realize this is my brother Jon and my dad and they need to be alive, or he's going to do what Thomas said and Ned's going to like also show that whole maybe he wasn't so morally great. Yeah, because like they're kind of showing more of that, and maybe he was going to kill Jon, but he convinces them to keep him because he knows what Jon will be and he's his brother and blah blah blah.
But the thing is that Bran doesn't know what Jon will be.
Yeah,
just looking at that scene, he would not know.
But he would, I think he would I think he would know.
I don't think he would know.
It's around the same time that his dad came back with a son.
We'll find out.
So, I think the thing we haven't
will
talked
find
about
out.
yet, though, is
yes,
Hodor.
let's please move
Yeah,
on.
Hodor.
The children of the forest are all dead. Three-Eyed Raven's dead.
Hodor is
Were those
dead.
the last children of the forest?
It's implied. Well, I mean, we haven't seen
Fair
the other
enough.
ones.
Fair, we don't.
I don't think it's implied.
Well, I guess it's not implied. We
It
haven't
could
seen
be.
any others to prove us otherwise as well.
But
That's what I
who
meant.
cares?
Yeah, that's not implication.
So, yeah.
But all of the ones with them
Yeah.
are dead.
Cool bombs with them, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Anti-white bombs.
Yeah, they had some really cool. Those were just a really cool scene. Like, it's
What?
very stressful.
Wait, what? It was extremely stressful.
You know,
I remember being like, I am so stressed out by this.
I've never found the White Walkers particularly scary because usually you see them in a setting where it's like they're supposed to be intimidating but not scary.
Yeah.
But in that scene, they were scary.
The tunnel full of whites.
Yeah, you were like,
Ooh.
yeah.
It was like the
No,
Moria
it was
goblins
it was
climbing all
very
over.
stressful. But so yeah, all of the children of the forest there died. What did the three-eyed ravens say?
Oh, it's Bran's turn to become
Yeah,
him.
it's Bran's
Bran's like,
turn.
am I ready? He's like,
No.
nope.
What did he say to
Because
the
he was
White
dying?
Walker Kings? Didn't he say something?
No.
I
No.
think he said something to Bran.
He said something to Bran, and while Bran was still warging into the past, he said, like, it's my turn to go, or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he was just like
So-
sliced in half and flew off to the winds.
Which was a cool effect.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Okay.
But Bran
Um,
is now the three-eyed raven.
But let's be real. So like Mira's just like running out with Bran. Bran has warged into Hodor at this time. And Hodor is, running, he's holding the door, and Mira's just taking off. How far do you think Mira's gonna get?
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be another F word that you said before far at first.
No, I really thought about it because that's in my normal vocabulary, but I keep it clean for the Iron Couch and all of their sub-trendy videos.
Apparently I don't, sorry.
No, I agree. She's like got Bran on this like travoy, just like carrying
And
him
she's
through
not
the
as
snow.
strong as Hodor.
She's not as strong as Hodor.
She's like
She
got a
can't-
30-foot like head
It's
start.
cold
Yeah.
and it's snowing, like, how far are you gonna get?
Yeah,
and she's
I don't
hiding
really
from
know.
snow monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they don't care how
Like, it's
cold
one thing
it
if they
is.
were in Dorne running from snow monsters, like, you could probably get away from them there.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I don't really know what's happening there. I mean, obviously they've got to get away.
I think it's implied she got away.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it's
But-
like,
Like,
The
it's not just
sneak
gonna be
peek-
like murder fest at the beginning
Spoiler,
of the
spoiler,
episode.
spoiler, spoiler, spoiler.
Hopefully, I mean at this
The
point.
sneak peek
Yeah,
to
30
next
minutes
week
in.
shows them being chased. Mira
Yes,
and
they're still
Bran
being
being
pursued.
chased by the whites.
yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's,
That's what I mean, but like, what would you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
It almost makes me at this point wonder if Bran is going to somehow reclaim mobility because, like, how is Mira realistically going to keep up with this? Like, she can't.
Yeah,
She
doesn't
can't.
understand.
That's a good point.
She's
Yeah,
a
it's
normal
like-
person. Like Hodor was.
Hodor is superhuman strength.
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly.
You
Like,
know what
he's
I
like
mean?
everybody considers him part giant. I mean, he's
Yeah.
obviously not.
Yeah.
But he's just a big dude. Mira is not a big dude.
No.
Not even a dude.
She is a small girl.
Yeah.
well, you know what they said, Bran will never walk again, but he will be dragged around by a
Let's
sled.
talk about Hodor's death before we end
already
this.
did.
No, I mean, no, we really haven't talked about it yet.
All of us cried but Thomas.
Yeah.
I
I
definitely
almost
cried.
cried that I didn't because I had a lot of people around me. Normally I do
By
cry.
a lot, she means 3.
2. Well, I mean, aside from Thomas, I just like count Thomas as another
But
side of
it was one of those, like, Game of Thrones I feel like tries to shock you with death a lot.
Mhm.
When they're like with Ned, it's like, boom, 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 this person's dead, killed. With Hodor, it's like, you knew almost the whole time that
You
he
knew it was
gonna
gonna happen. The second that he turned and held that door, you knew he was gonna die. Even leading up to it, you kind of knew.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was dragged out and you saw the hands dig into him
Yeah.
and
And
just
the,
like,
and the
oh.
flashback where he just it
It's
turned
just-
from hold the door
yeah,
to
and
right,
it's almost like
around,
together.
like-
Brienne working into him, like, that was
I
Brienne's
thought you said
decision.
Brienne at
Sorry.
first.
No,
Or
Brienne.
It was a
yeah.
really like gruesome death scene, but it was
It
also like
was.
very sacred. It was like not kind of the almost flippant way that Game of Thrones sometimes
It-
deals
Yeah.
with death.
That's
It
what I'm
wasn't
saying.
gruesome and like an ogre and like, you know, like
Yeah.
it wasn't like that. It was like gruesome as in like horrific to watch and violent, but at the same time emotional and like they had the music going. It was slow paced.
Do you feel like Brienne working into Hodor caused his death?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it caused him to be like who he is, like his very identity.
And it ties into
And
the
it's
whole.
his instruction that
it-
made him hold the door.
It ties into the
Okay.
whole thing earlier that the Red Priestess said, like, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
This has been the Iron Couch.
Okay, wait. So next week is the Darkest Timeline, the Breaking of the Fellowship. Because Emily and
Yeah.
I are going to be out of town.
So it'll just be us two. Actually, no, I think Taylor might be back next week. Are you gonna be back next week, Taylor?
Let's know in
Let
the
us
comments or
know.
text
Yeah.
us.
No, or text
Just like
us.
do it in the group chat. Why don't you come?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you right now.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I want you to do all 3. I want you to let us know in the comments and text Andrew.
Like,
And
subscribe,
text all of
check
Yeah,
out our
Taylor,
website.
Taylor
specifically, like, subscribe.
And,
I'll be
then
like,
let us know.
Thomas, we have a cool
Let us know
website.
in the group chat last. Watch, she won't watch this for like a week.
No, she watches it.
Glad you guys were cool.
I'm glad to hear we're cool.
Alright, see ya.
But this has been the Iron Couch. Like, subscribe, check out our website. I'm doing the whole Andrew bit right now.
Like us on Facebook.
I just got the group chat for
Yeah.
Taylor.
We will see you next week.
Yeah. Or
You guys-
Jessica and I, maybe Taylor.
We'll see you
Oh, yeah.
next week.
They'll see you next week. Well,
Yes, bye.
Yeah, bye.
get
Yeah,
and make
Taylor
her write
would
a
love
review
it.
about it.
Maybe we'll
Taylor
do Halloween
loves
5.
things.
It's supposed to be spooky, right? She loves the
She loves spooky
Hey, Andrew,
stuff.
call them.
Who?
Who you gonna call?
I
Ah!
was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, I was like, as soon as I said, like, my response, I was like, oh, I'm walking into this.